Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and make progress in your life. This is episode 489 of the Daily 180, and today we're going to be continuing our series about the either ors for boredom and fatigue by talking about fatigue. Fatigue is different than boredom, but they can look very, very similar. Most of us who have been tired sometimes feel like we know what fatigue is all about, but fatigue is actually, at least in my experience, and I think when we talk with professionals, we'll say that tired is the early stages. Tired is when we feel like we've given a fair amount. We've pushed forward. We've done whatever we need to do, and that's all there is to it. Uh, for instance, for me, when I am on a bike ride, you know what? I can handle a 30-minute bike ride. I can handle an hour bike ride. Those will make me tired, especially if I go hard during that period of time. But I've done several century bike rides. Those are 100 miles. I've also done a marathon. I've done 2 half marathons. I've done quite a few endurance races and obstacle course races. I will tell you that for me, I have been able to identify very clearly the difference between tired and fatigue. Because for me, it is about level of exertion over the amount of time. For me, 3 hours, that's going to make me really tired. But as soon as I go beyond 3 hours, then we start dipping into fatigue. Fatigue is interesting because fatigue is where we have pushed beyond what we would consider healthy limits. Tired is very valuable. Tired is where we push up to limits where we are tired, and it helps us understand a little bit better what our physical limits are, what kinds of things we can push ourselves to endure, and it can be a tremendously cathartic experience and a really valuable test to be able to figure out, okay, how much do I have in my tank? How much can I really take? That is when we get too tired. Fatigue is when we push past that. And we get to levels where we start to lose our ability to reason. We start to lose our ability to be guided. I will never forget when I came off my first century ride, I had to have people tell me, Todd, walk this way, walk over here. Todd, lay down. I couldn't even think clearly enough to be able to do those kinds of things. When you've gotten to a point when you're no longer functioning well mentally and you can't move forward physically, you know you've hit fatigue. Again, boredom and fatigue, sometimes they look fairly similar because you're not fully engaged, but they come from very different places. Hopefully, this has helped set the stage for what we're going to talk about when we talk about how the two of them are really flip sides of a coin, the either or kind of a conversation. So we'll come to that. We'll start talking about that tomorrow. Hopefully, this has been useful for you and is being useful for you as you move forward. And hopefully it's something that you can share with other people and perhaps be able to give some perspective and help them as they're dealing with perhaps situations where they're pushing to fatigue or situations where they're struggling with a little bit of boredom. Hopefully tomorrow we'll give you a few more ideas about that as well. In the meantime, hit the button, subscribe, make sure you share this video with as many people as you possibly can, because I'm passionate about getting this information out so that people can actually make progress. In the meantime, this has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time.